Wow, that actually opened up pretty quick. I'm not used to my live streams actually popping up in the right time frame here. All right. So let's go to my video and post a link in the Discord real quick, just so everybody knows. I'm sure somebody's here that I don't know about. So what is going on? It's Saturday afternoon. Maybe I don't do everyone. I'll do here. There you go. What's going on, Andrew TEG? And Silly Cat. Oh, Silly Cat. The Silly Cat. The Twitter man. Okay, so I think today I'm going to be using my system that I wrote to implement some you're hiding. You're hiding. It's too hot outside. I see. To implement some supply caches that I'll be putting around the world. And these will be things that players can find. And it's complicated. So basically, there's a map, and you're going to be able to get these maps, and the maps will let you find the supply cache. And you'll also get a key, and you use the key on the supply cache. I'll actually show you exactly how it works in a second here. I just need to go into, and this is actually going to become a problem because there are some chests around the world, and I've been doing some stuff to clear those chests, but I can't do that anymore because the system requires chests. I'll show you what I mean in my command world real quickly. But first, I need to, and I don't know if it's the, oh, it is. Okay, cool. I have a new syntax highlighter. I finally fixed that, by the way. This is a ginormous block of text that is not important that you have any idea what it does. It basically just makes my life easier. Doesn't matter to anybody that's going to be playing on the server, but it will matter to the mods if I do get some help setting things up. But it's a little bit complicated. It's simple, but it's also not user friendly, as in I don't know anything about commands, so now I can make things. Okay, what's up, Fluffy Man? And Obi-Wan Kenobi, of course. And I don't know why you're asking what my favorite kind of cheese is. I don't really eat cheese on its own, so it's got to be paired with something. So these things periodically spawn around the world, and when you go up to them, you sneak, and they open eventually. And there is a chance, but I made it 100%, that you will get a map and a key, and the map will go with the key. So you use the map to get to the chest, and then here's the chest. Texture is tentative. I might change it. And you cannot use the key on this chest because this is not the right key code. But you can use it on this chest, and when you do, it opens and closes the chest and gives you your loot according to the rarity. In this case, the only loot there is dirt. So I will ask you guys later on for some help coming up with some loot because I literally have 0 items implemented for this game. If he gets bored, he makes a new one. Yeah, I always have. Yeah, I'm not very. Oh, nobody can see because of my code block is in the way. My bad. Yeah, I do switch projects pretty often. Um, Especially ones. Yeah, yeah, pretty much. I mean, I've focused more on my YouTube channel than actually finishing projects, and more just like my own happiness. Like, if I'm bored with a project, I'm not going to continue it for no reason, because finishing a project because of the way YouTube is does not really bring anything good to my channel. Like, it's better if I don't finish projects, if I just get them to a state, or just work on small things. Like, huge things usually are only beneficial to me. Like, it doesn't really benefit like anything else. Are you using item used on block advancement for crates? No, I'm just using the open chest scoreboard. I could use item used on block, but that's gonna probably be exactly the same. I've seen locked chests before, no data pack, but the key was an iron nugget. Yeah. Locked chests, you just use an MBT to put a lock, and then any item that's named the same thing as the lock will be able to open it. So if I do set lock chest with lock A, and then I just rename something to the letter A, so this says it's locked. If I rename it A, then it will let me open it. And ignore the whole none in the chat. That's me detecting what type of chest they're trying to open. None is kind of like a debug thing, so I know like that chest was not a chest that's it could detect as anything important. The guns from COD Zombies might not even be used here. They'll just be roughly used, and the code is completely new. I mean, honestly, I haven't worked a lot on anything Minecraft related besides what I need for a video. Like if I was working on this project like even weekly, then it would be almost done by now because I wrote all the gun code associated with this project in about a day. So you have like guns like this. That's my debug gun. Stupid. Ah, that's my ammo box. There we go. So you have guns like this, and you only get relative information about how much ammo you have left, not really exactly. Maybe I'll put exactly how much ammo you have left on the item name, so then when you're just shooting it like this, you don't really know how much ammo you have left, but then when you look at the name, you can see exactly. And then you reload using the ammo box, so these shears will... oh, they got all drained up. Some of these items are just... Some of these, I don't know how much did I put in the... Oh, something's got to be bugged then. Okay, whatever. Maybe it's because I put 1.17.1. Oh, I might have updated to 1.17.1 and they changed something. That broke it. Oh no. What did they do? Yeah, what did they do? Okay, I'm not gonna worry about that. I'm just gonna... But anyways, I implemented all the guns and they have like a ton of stats. And those are not important. Anyways, so creating a new one of these random loot kind of chest systems is as simple as running RPG event create set crate, which obviously I can put into some kind of UI to click it. And it will set a chest where you're looking, and you can pick the rarity of the chest here, and then you can set the lock and set the ID. So I put military, enter, then I put set the lock, and I change the number. So key number 3, and then I can set the ID, and I just change this number to 3, and then it's all set up. So I will need an item that has, yeah. It handles everything when you do that. So. And then there's basically 2 lines in a Sublime text that I have to copy and paste, and then just change the number to 3. New command, it could have a bug. You mean /item? No, it's no. I made this pack in 1.17 and then I just updated to 1.17.1 and now it's having a bug. So I don't know. Maybe 1.17.1 did something really tiny that caused the bug, or maybe like some kind of syntax error I have in an item modifier. But whatever. So yeah, so if I were making it here, well, first off, I need to copy the data pack. So I need to copy all my data packs to this world. Where is it? There we go. And then I need to go into it. And then go to create spawn key spawn map. Okay, so this is kind of, I'll pull up the, this is the only other thing you have to do to add a new chest in the map. Is you have to add their information here. So key is going to be really easy. You just have to have this number be a new number and this number be a new number. Map is the same thing, but you also have to have like all the information associated with where the X is on the map. So that's kind of the important part. that will take a little bit of time in terms of making these. I do need to test something. I need to test if I can make the name of the key have like some kind of and it's gonna be stupid if I have a test having this test world and having that world is I might have some issues with like what's the right version that I'm messing with. That's gonna end up being a problem. But let me test key and let me make it italic, false, color, and then we can just make it some color here. I don't want to give away the rarity of what the chest is for the key. That's something people will have to figure out. So I'll just make it all the same color, and I'll make them the color that the bootleg is, that rarity, which is basically like the crappiest rarity. So if I get one of these keys, okay, so now it's kind of like that brown. It says loot crate. And then, yeah, it still works. Cool. So I can change some of it as long as it has the same like string in the text, it'll be fine. Now, maybe I'll figure out what's wrong with these guns here. What the hell is going on here? Maybe I will look into it for a second. Okay. I'll shoot something. So now my clip is 28. Okay. So let's go into data packs, gun, data, gun, functions. Oh, you guys might see the function on the screen. But that's okay. It's something associated with reload. Let's go to reload start. That's fine. Uh, uh, yeah, so it reloads in sections of 10. That's fine. Do I run any functions here? I give them a tag of reload start, then loop, and then when it reaches 0, you do the actual reload. Then when you do the actual reload, you do stuff to figure out how much ammo you have in the box. So it's something with box check. Box check messes with temp. Okay, let's do data get storage gun temp. So that has the shears. And the shears had ammo 38. Okay, so it was, I guess giving it back to me is where it's breaking. Yeah. It's not giving me back. So update. Update is wrong. Okay, so hotbar.0, item modify. Load ammo. Okay. This is what's wrong. It's just gone. Oh, ammo box :1. Okay, that means that the that means that it's loading like only one bullet and then it's gone. Like it's saying there's only one bullet. So let me see that information. That's copying stuff from the ammo MBT data get storage ammo data mount. Okay, so then I just need to do this here somehow. What the heck? Yeah, I don't know what's going on in the chat. Okay, so let me reload. Give myself one of these guys. 2. Okay, that worked. What's wrong then? Yeah, it's working. That's weird. I don't know what's wrong with it. What was wrong with it? Maybe it's like that slot 0 where it has a problem. You know, that actually might be it when I think about it. Yeah. Yeah, I think I know the issue. Um, if it's in slot 0, I think it gets automatically deleted. Because when I go to box and I go to check loop, yeah. Maybe. I don't know, just the 0 thing always breaks it. Temp at 0 is this thing. Type 1, amount 32. Yeah, but it's not giving it back properly. Yeah, so temp is 0. It's evolved. I'm just trying to debug why putting this thing in slot 0 doesn't work. Okay, let me do this. So that has that information. That worked there. So maybe it's after update. Maybe it's remove. Okay. So it's remove. It's use. It's update. It's remove. Oh! Oh! Yeah, I'm stupid. Yep, 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 yep. Yep, 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 yep. This is why we don't use hashtag temp. Store results score scoreboard players get hashtag temp. Store results score hashtag. Yeah, I think it's because hashtag temp is storing how much ammo you have left. And then we jump into update, and hashtag temp is getting changed. So I'm going to do this and make this temp 2. Or, yeah, sure, temp 2. And then we just make these all 2, and we're good. Fake players getting different numbers. So then when we get to remove, make this temp 2 as well. Just for parity sake, where temp 2 stores what slot you had the item in. And fixing one bug at a time, boys. Alright, so let me reload. And now when I use this, I use 2 bullets, and now I use 2 bullets. Okay, we fixed the bug. I prefer hashtag because it becomes invisible and you don't see it in the sidebar. That's why you use hashtag over $sign. $sign, you see it in the sidebar. Hashtag, it's invisible in the sidebar. And temporary variables, I don't care what they are or know what they are. So they're always just invisible to me. Okay. Let me get rid of my Sublime there. Overwrite some files. Go into data, RPG, functions, event, create, set key, set map, and now I'm ready to make some maps. But not before I go into main. Nope, not before I go into, no. Something, entity check? Man, I'm having, what is going, where did I put that? I put a command somewhere that does this. Look, does this. Oh, it's gone now. Okay, well then I guess the command is not in the data pack anymore. Okay, cool. Eventually I will overwrite the default zombie loot table because they shouldn't drop anything by default. All right, so we need to make some of these maps. Definitely going to put a crate right here because this is such a cool place. That's exactly where I am. So then all we have to do is do function RPG event crate set crate. So I set the crate here. I want to make this one military, so it'll be kind of higher grade. And then I'll set the lock. This one will be number 1, crate number 1. The ID will be number 1, and we're done. Then what I have to do, and I will show you what I have to do here. If I hit 0, so I have to go in here and make this stuff 1s and put the map here, and then this one has to be 1s. Granted, with this one, what you can do is you can just have a bunch of them pre-filled out because it doesn't really matter. You just need some kind of unique identifier so that when somebody has the key, it clears one of this specific key that you're looking for. Well, it removes one from the count, which actually is kind of cool. I'll be showing that later, how that works, but there's a nice alternative to /clear if you want to reduce the count of a stack of items by 1, or just get rid of one of the items. Like, it's an alternative to /clear, but it's more dynamic than /clear. So I think that one's pretty cool. So we'll just put in 10 of these and then go actually scatter these around the map. And I guess you guys get the little secret access to know where all of these things are as I put them in, but honestly, if I finish this, you will not remember anyways. So anyways, military loot crate is locked. Cool. So then basically I'll just be using the /summon item command, as well as some other stuff here. Let me just hit 0. Okay. So we can probably hide another loot crate somewhere in here. I just want a large diversity. And let me know if there's any spots that seem more logical to have one. Just a matter of diversity. Having a lot, more the better, so that when you get one, you really don't know where it's going to direct you. Ideally, I would have a lot. Ooh, fire department. Fire department seems like it would have a civilian crate in it, right? It would have something like a little bit better than bootleg. It's not like garbage, right? So, and also finding these crates is going to be, I think it's going to be fun because it's going to be challenging. Like, it just gives you an X, which doesn't really tell you exactly where it is. It's just like, here's an X on a map. Go, good luck. You know, it shows you roughly within like a 16 by 16 block radius where it should be, but not where it is. I'm just trying to come up with places that seem semi-logical for where it should be. Hey, what's up, Skander? Okay. Where do I want to put it? This is the fire department. Where would it be? Where would we put this chest? I think here is fine. Somewhere like right here, honestly. Also, I'll need to get rid of shulker boxes. Yeah. The only problem with this map, yes, of course I read chat B. The only problem with this map, which I did not build, disclaimer, is they have a lot of containers, and I don't want containers in this map. So, okay, so I'm gonna put a crate here, and it'll be civilian grade. Hit enter. I'll set the lock. It will be number 2, and the lock ID will be 2 as well. Okay, cool. And there's your civilian loot crate chest. I'm kind of regretting my decisions here on the color scheme. They're a little bit dark, these colors. Ooh, I like the color scheme, but it's a little bit dull. I kind of want them a little bit brighter. How do I do that? I will have to go, let me think. Hex to HSV. This is big brain moments. You have no idea. You have no idea. So what I'll do is I'll go hex to HSV. Then I'll go into the crate editor. And I will copy the color of the crate. I'll go hex to HSV, up the color, the saturation in HSV, and then convert it back to hex. It's like the biggest of brains. Also, drowned still spawn. Dark colors are better. I guess. I don't know. I kind of like it, but I want it a little bit brighter. I would rather just not have the shulkers at all. I don't know. The color shades are fine, but they're a little bit dull. I don't really know what I wanted to do because they're kind of harder to read. You know, like they're like the bootleg word is particular and civilian are particularly hard to read. Premium is okay. Um, yeah, let me see. And the colors don't always look the same in chat, so let's do Tower Raw AS text premium. Those are like the highest tier. Yeah, so that's a little bit it's a little bit darker. I like the original premium look, but civilian and bootleg need a color boost without a doubt. So let's get bootleg in there and see what happens. I know you guys can't see my HSV converter, but it is what it is. Okay. Okay, that's better for bootleg. That looks better, I think. I kind of like that better. All right, I'm gonna change that for the bootleg. So let's just change that for the bootleg and then do Control H and Control B and replace all. Currently making original alpha set for now. I don't really know what alpha set, what you mean by that, and I don't know what MTG stands for. Okay, so let's go with okay, so that's the new color for bootleg. Now let's fix civilian. I need to get colors, you know, colors that people can recognize better. So let's go with that. And then let's copy that, place it. That's going to be way better, I think. So let's take a look at that for the civilian color. There you go. It's a little bit better. And maybe bootleg is too, maybe I went too far with the bootleg. Maybe it needs to be more brown. I like the civilian though, that one's nice and saturated a bit. So let's go ahead and slap the civ in. Take a look at bootleg again though. It's a little bit Oh, you literally probably cannot see it because this is something where you need to see the chat. Okay, well, understood. Okay. So we copy this, swap it around, paste there. It's because brown is really just like technically not a color, it's just dark orange, and the civilian is already kind of orange. Maybe bootleg shouldn't be brown though. Maybe I'll just make it gray. I'll get some shade of gray. So let's just go with 0 for the hue. Zero for that. And we'll just go with like 20. No, let's go with 0, and then let's just go with the 70, 60. And let's just go with like 15 here. 20, maybe. Let's go with 70. Okay, that might be fine. Let's see. Will a crafted item always be a bootleg rarity? No, not necessarily. That's a little bit more legible and also different from civilian. I just wanted it to be different from civilian. I'm fine with that color, actually. Is this Bedrock or Java? It is definitely not Bedrock. Okay, so this is fine. Then let's deal with military. Let's take a look at the military color, because right now it's kind of like, it's like a green, but it's like a really faded green. Which, I mean, it kind of goes with the theme of everything. I just didn't expect Minecraft to do that to it. It like kind of messes with the shade. I don't know if you get what I mean, but it's actually looks brighter in browser than Minecraft. And there you go. That's more what I wanted, a more saturated green color. Still kind of dull, but not kind of like that. I don't have light theme on Discord. I don't know what you mean. I don't know what made you think I did. Okay, I like that green more. That's a more appetizing green. That sounds kind of psychotic, but all right. And then for the purple, let me fix the purple as well. I'll give you what? Okay, apparently this purple is very not purple. No, okay. What? Oh my goodness, HSV is so cracked. Sorry, you can't see anything that I'm doing in that regard, but HSV is cracked. So if I switch the V, which is vibrance, I believe, from 100 to 101, it changes from purple to yellow. 3A8633. Well, let's see this color, and that's not really nice. 3A8633. That's like a military green, but I want something that stands out, kind of like civilian, and it's supposed to be like the best tier you can get in the wild. So, yeah, that's a little bit too poopy. Maybe it looks better in browser, but again, but yeah, I want. Why did I type that for the color? Jesus, premium looks okay like that, but I want it a little bit more vibrant. So let me turn up some more values here. See if I can. It's just at a weird. No, that just makes it darker. I don't know why, but okay. I think that makes it brighter. I don't really get how HSV works too much besides just what the name is. That's a little bit better. I think the bottom one is a little bit better than any of the other options. I think so. Let me see. Let me see if I can get Let's go with the color picker. BA4 BA45BA. That's not bad. I mean, but it's still very desaturated. I might be able to work with that though in the HSV better than my other color, because the other color just does not work in HSV. So let me see what I can do to that in HSV. What happens when I boost it to 100? There you go. Okay. I actually can live with that. That looks actually nice. That's not too vibrant, but it's definitely gets the point across. So I think we'll live with these. And then let's break that. Then let's set the chest up again. There you go. So those are the new colors. Civilian. I did not fix civilian yet. Civilian. Fix that. There we go. There you go. Those are more vibrant colors. I like those. I can live with these colors. These look nice. The lower ones look better. The first one is still legible, but looks a little bad, but that's kind of the point. Anyways, so then we'll set the lock. The lock is 2. Then we'll set the ID. The ID is 2. And we're good there. And when I click it, the important part is when I click it, I can read. Like, this text isn't like... I mean, in this case, it does blend because of the jungle wood, but it's not, like, super dark. It was a little bit too dark before. And anyway, so we'll go up here and we'll make the military crate again because it's a different color and I want to have some parity. That is kind of the setback. So the way that I coded my system is it's very flexible and requires 0 entities for stuff like this. This requires no entities whatsoever, but updating it requires you to go to all of the actual locations if you wanted to change all the colors. So it's definitely less flexible, like if you want to make changes in the future to things such as the name. It is flexible if you want to make changes to like the loot pool, but not like the name. That really can't be changed easily. Anyway, so this is the first map, and then the second map needs to have some kind of marker right around here. But luckily I don't have to change what map it's on. So that's just going to be a matter of me copying the first map, pasting it, changing a number to 2, changing another number to 2, and changing the positions to 709, 79, oh, just C, 157. And these give you no indication of what type of rarity the loot is. But yeah, so, oh crap, can we not do that? I don't think you can do that. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, maybe I need a new map ID, so like 17? No. Oh man. I don't know. I don't know if you can put an X in different places on different maps. I'm pretty sure. Man. I'm pretty sure the game caches the maps, so you have to like delete the map file for you to update it. This is not good. This is not okay. I don't like this. Not at all. Oh, wait. ID, maybe. I saved myself. Kind of. But now there's 2. What am I doing? Okay, well, I mean... I guess what I could do is just have multiple X's and you have to go to all of them and see which one the proper one is. But yeah, this is like a weird caching system, so it remembers it's not tied to the item. Okay. I mean, if they had a legend, that would be awesome. Or if they could put a number, that would be awesome. You can lock maps. No, you can't. I don't know what you mean by lock, but I'm pretty sure that if I have 2 maps and they're supposed to have X's on different pages, it won't work. click with the map on a banner. Okay, well, I don't know how to do that. Oh, maybe a ban. Well, yeah, I could use banners. I think banners allow for like, but banners might be a global thing as well. Like they might be, it just shows up regardless. Like, let me give you an example. If I give myself a map with no decorations on it, but it is this 16th map, it's going to have the decorations on it. No, map 17 is a different physical location in the world. It would be another physical location. It doesn't work like that. I just tested it. Um, a different ID does work, but they still are global. So it's not the end of the world to have one map show multiple X's and you have to go to each of the X's, but one solution I could have different. I think you can change the color of the X. Maybe I can change the color of the X and then I have a color based on the key. Like the key would have a different color. Let's see. Map. They do have like multiple colors, so maybe I'll just go with banners. I think the banners will allow different colors, but the type is arbitrary, so I have no idea what type I'm using. Uh, but I do like the banner idea. Okay, so red banner is 24. Okay. Let's see. Let's go into the, I think it's region files. No, it's in stat. No, it's in data. Yes. Okay. Let's delete all of the map data files that we have saved. Then let's exit and join again, and then maybe they won't have the markers on them. And then maybe I can put the banners and have colored banners. Oh, shut up. We're not going to have clones of the world. That is just stupid. What did I do? Okay. I was so confused. I was like, did I just delete everything? Nay. Alright, let's see what happens. Boy! Did I put the right type? No, I put the wrong type. Hmm? Baba boy. This will be the hardest part of making any of this. Yeah, I think the best solution at the moment is going to be to use different colored banners, markers, and then the different colored banner markers kind of just give you indications of which one it is based off of what the name of the, like the name on the map is. So, for example, 24. What? What did I do? I gave my world AIDS. Oh no, I gave my world AIDS. Oh! Oh, why am I over here? Hello? What? Oh, I should be over here. Oh, okay. Let me give myself an empty map and then right click it. It'll generate a map for this area that'll have a new ID. So empty map, pull it up, then here I am. This is map number 17, so then I need to make it map 17 here. There you go. Okay, so that puts a banner. right there that's red, and then I can just change the color of the map. Okay, you can do it with a cartography table and a glass pane. Okay, let me try that actually. Because then there might be some ID, like MBT. So let's see if this man is Factor Cap. Today on Factor Cap. The thing is, it might not be accessible, but let's go ahead and grab this and let's grab that. What does the lock do? It makes a new map called 18, which is locked. That, but... Okay, then what happens if I do this? Interesting. So what happens if I do this? Okay, obviously that's wrong, but if I do this... I don't have the X. So I think it just locks it permanently, right? I don't really know how this works. This is really confusing, but we'll figure it out. Okay, so that put a blue marker on this one. There's no blue marker on that. There's no blue marker on this. Oh, I broke the banner. That's because I broke the banner. Okay. There's no blue marker on this one, but this one does not have a blue marker. But this one does have a blue marker. But this one does not have a blue marker. But this one still has a red marker. So... This is too confusing, dude. Ah! I'm so confused. I mean, I could get by with that if what I... But it's going to be really stupid. So let me show you how we do this. I don't think any of that's accessible. And it's something hard-coded in the game files. So what we need to do is give ourselves a map, make a map, give ourselves the map with the red X, unlock the map with the red X, then delete the old cache of the map, exit and re-enter the world. Yeah, it's a little bit complicated, but it would make, and I have to delete some files basically. So what I need to do is I need to do step 1 is going to be use one of these maps. It tells me the map ID is 19. Okay, so the map ID is 19. So then I go like this. I give myself a map that's 19. This one has a red X on it. Okay, so now I have a red X at map 19. So then I grab these glass panes, put this down, put this down, put this down, put that down, locks it, makes it map 20, which is locked. Okay. So now if I go, map 20 is locked, and then I go here. Now, if I give myself map 20, then it should be fine. So I can delete the one that has the decoration. I can delete the stuff talking about decorations, and it can just give me map 20. But now what I need to do is I need to go into Files, delete map 19, exit the world, re-enter the world, let it load. I could do it with banners, but banners are like, I like the red X way better. Banners are kind of tiny and dumb. Banners are dumb, but it will be a similar amount of time anyways. So now if I go ahead and make a new map, and then I just copy the process. Sadly, I think this might make the cache get bigger over time. I don't really know how maps work, honest to God. But I could do it with a... If the map is locked, then it can't be updated. Yeah, I know. I guess I'll do it with a banner, because that'll just save me more time. So let me just do it with a banner. Let's just do that whole system, but with a banner, and then instead it'll look garbage, but who cares? Because banners, I mean, it'll be a lot faster than deleting files. I don't like this, but okay. Where's the banner? Red banner. Either way. So what we'll do is we'll just go a boom, and then lock it. Now it's 22, and 22 is the locked version. So then we'll go with 22. And then 22 is done. So then we'll just pop this guy back out. Why is it 23 now? I'm so confused. I need to make a... It just keeps making new maps. Ew, this is disgusting. I hate it. Alright. We'll figure it out, though. We'll get this guy going. Alright, so I think what we need to do is copy the map that has the banner saved to it. So we'll go here, bump it, bop it to start, place the cartography table, put that, and then boom, 25 is the new one. And then when I take that off, that'll be gone in here. All right, now we got a method to our madness. So 25 is the new one, and this is map 2. Okay. Pop at the start. You can retexture the icons? What? I'm confused. I can retexture the icons? How? Alright, somebody give me the command to retexture the icon so it looks like an X. Otherwise, you're banned. I don't think there's an X banner pattern. And I don't think simply retexturing... Well, yeah, you're right. I can just retexture the banner pattern in the UI. But I don't think there's a red X that's saved. Like, I don't think there's like, I know that they have like a globe texture, like a globe thing, but I could just retexture it. Yeah, I'll just do it with a resource pack. Okay. Yeah, because I know you can change what the banner icon looks like, but I don't think they have a red X as a banner icon, so that's out of the question. So you'll just have to make it yourself with a resource pack. Okay. Alright, so I think we can actually start putting more chests down now that we have a method to make the maps correctly. So let's do this. Let's hit it up, boys. All of these maps are filled out already, so I don't have to worry. This is a gas station. The more the merrier with this, honestly. So let's go ahead and do gas station. Let's go ahead and put some bootleg in the gas station. I mean, it is a gas station. And I'm going to make it simple. It's just going to be right here. It'd be like the cash register. Young cash register. AKA little broomstick. Crate slash editor slash that crate. Nope, I want to do it here, facing that way. This one's bootleg. This one has a lock ID of 3. And boom, we're done. So here's our bootleg chest 3. So then we have to make the banner. So boom, bump it, place this guy down, put 1 in here, put 1 in here. That becomes map 26. Then I just copy a line in a file, get map 26. And you're done. Then when I go back to here and then I bump it, it's done. And then let me just test this to be certain. So I give myself map 26, and there you go. It has the icon where we need it. Cool. Well, I'm glad we were able to solve that problem ourselves. They have a red X, but it's buried treasure. Yeah. I'll just copy the icon from buried treasure. I can copy the icons in the texture packs. It'll all be good. All right. Let's go ahead and put a couple more over here. So I think this building can have like 2 at least, right? I mean, that's at least 2, and there'll be like a bootleg and a civilian. And you won't know which one it is because they'll be roughly on top of each other, so it's gonna be hard to memorize. If I see it, I will destroy it. Otherwise, it'll just be there. And then we'll be like, why? You can give yourself a map with custom X's, but we already went through this before, that you cannot specify, um, you can't make the X appear in only one of those maps, like the one that you gave yourself. If you give yourself another map with another X, it'll show up on all the old maps as well. That's why we need the lock system. Most of the time, if you see me do something weird, it's because there was a reason for it. It is the only way. Okay, so I don't mind putting something, maybe not in here, because that's so obvious. Like, people are just going to run through there. Let's put a little bit out of the way. Ooh, 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 this is mean. Okay. 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 Yeah, that's a little bit tricky. I like this. This is a boxing room or something. It looks like yeah, it's a workout room. Dude, that's sick. That's awesome. It's less tedious to make the maps than I would expect. It's not that tedious. We fixed most of the problems. All right. Let's put something in the workout room just because it's kind of in a weird spot. Kind of dig it. So let's go with that. This one we'll put a civilian because it's in a weird spot. We'll set the lock ID to 4. I might start forgetting what number I'm on, and that's where we start to get a problem. All right, so then we go like this, bump it, lock it, read it, 27, and create the new entry in the file. And boom. That honestly isn't that hard of a process, I'm gonna be honest to you. It doesn't matter. I mean, if it's a resource pack thing, I don't really mind. Like, I can do it. I've already altered a lot of the core resource pack UI stuff. A hunt for profit is a hunt for joy. Oh. Maybe we won't put something here. I'll add more over time. Just to spice things up, because this is honestly easy for me to do. Oh, and I see the white shulkers. You are getting replaced with something like diorite. Yeah, one of the problems in this is going to be getting rid of containers. I don't want containers. I don't want people to put stuff places. But honestly, I would rather have the problem of having random containers than having the problem of having to build an entire map as cool as this. So yeah, we work with what we got. All right. Yeah, I'll put a bootleg chest in here, which is gonna be kind of funny, just because it's like you work your way all the way up this building just for bootleg. But if you don't have some crap, you can't have the satisfying success. Am I right, boys? All right. So here we go. Banner, bump it, block it, and read it. And it's 28. It should just be incremental, but I don't know. It might jump at some point because this is a map that has had a lot of maps. All right, and then just make sure that it's gone now. Cool. Yeah, so this method works. So then you have boop, and it tells you where it is. Cool. If I manually built the X's, that would be way more effort than me simply changing a texture in the default resource pack, which I don't plan to use. So if I manually, yeah, I could manually build an X above this in the sky and then lock it, but that would just be way more work than just changing a texture that I don't plan to use anyways. So seems a lot less effort to me if I just... Okay, so that's moving into another map. So let's stick on this map, get all the ones for this map done. Ooh, is the police station in this map? It's not. Okay. So we're basically done with this map, I think. One thing over here would be kind of nice. I don't know what this is. There's zombies inside. Be careful. I'll put something in here if I can get inside. I don't know if I can. I honestly can't even really get inside there. How do you get inside there? I better put a really good chest if there's like a way to get inside that you just can't figure out. Oh, that's how you can get inside. So you get up on top of this roof. Then if you do a little bit of parkour, I think you can... I think... No. Can you get on top of that roof? Is that possible? This is a challenge. Yeah, that is true. If I make the banners an X, I can use color coding. Why don't I use different banners for different chests? Because I want to encourage people looking for chests instead of just seeing what rarity the chest is on the banner and then just throwing away the key and map if they're at a point where they don't need those type of chests or those chests aren't necessarily as worth their time. There's literally no sense of like, oh, this is a random risk and reward type thing. Like it needs to be, oh, you can't get on top of this. But there, I want there to be some kind of a unknown, or at least slight unknown, unless you've been there before. All right, so if you take some damage, you can come down here and get inside the flower shop. So I will put a really good chest in here, and there's regular chests in here, which just shouldn't exist. So that's something I'm gonna need help with beta testers, to just get rid of the containers for me, because there are some laying around, and we can't have that. It'll just be confusing and give people items that they shouldn't have. Anyways, yeah, so this area is, since it's so hard to get in, I don't think you can get in. I'm pretty sure it's completely blocked off unless you come in through the roof. So I'll put a pretty nice chest in here. I'll put military in here. I don't know why a military chest would be here, but what is this? Gavin's notes. Sorry, Gavin. No lord for you, buddy. I'm pretty sure the method I'm using right now for the map tagging stuff is fine and as good as it'll get. So why are there barriers here? What the hell? Who designed this? What kind of madman just like, who does that? What? There's barriers in here? So confused. Maybe because walls worked differently before. I don't know. Alright, we're gonna put a chest right here. This one's gonna be military. I don't even know if there will be premium loot crates. I might make make this one premium. Should I make it premium? No. If I'm going to have any premium crates, period, they're going to be the last crates I add, so I make sure that the odds are very low. Because I don't want there to be, like, only 20 crates and 5 of them are premium because I wasn't counting. That would be a dumb thing. Then it doesn't seem very premium, huh? But I will put a military and possibly come back here and put a premium later. All right, so there you go. Popped and locked. 29. So yeah, this is pretty zen, honestly, like doing this stuff. There isn't too much command work involved, and it's really not that hard. That didn't take me that long to add one. How to get out from the building because you fall from the roof. Oh, you can just fall off the roof again. Oh no, I guess you might die there. Well, you take the risk and you assess the problems. Actually, I can mitigate some issues here with some hay. Yeah. Let me put some hay in the back of this truck. No, that's too tiny. I don't know. Yeah, you're just gonna have to fall and live with it, like, woo! Okay, and then you could survive like that. I mean, it's possible. I mean, it's stupid, don't get me wrong, but it's possible. Alright, I'm pretty sure I'm done with this area. So let's just keep that as a map that we own. And let's move to this area over here. This has a lot of potential. So let's make one of these. Oh, that is kind of not big. But okay, we'll do it anyways. And then we have that. So this one definitely at least encompasses the church. And I'll probably just I'll make this process I'm doing right here something that like mods can do to add new maps, kind of. They'll have to give me a list of the IDs that they added, as well as the the IDs of the maps. It'll be controlled. I mean, when I say mod, I mean they're not going. I don't mean like there are 50 mods here. I mean like there is a handful of people, like 3 people. So, but it will be something that people other than me can do because this is not very hard to explain the process. Okay, so bump it and lock it. And that's 31. So yeah, the number does jump. I don't know. A few times. So that's map 7. And we'll just make 10 for posterity's sake, and then I'll make more of them later. But it'll just be there for variety. What is this? You can see that there's buildings, and there's grass. That gives you a good idea of what this is. It's Minecraft, so I'm just joking. Basically, this is a not survival. This is a server that is kind of like Fallout themed. It's pretty unique in itself. It's not really based off of anything else. So you'll have to just see as it releases things, but it's an MMO RPG zombie gun game. If I want to use a long explanation, it's an MMO RPG zombie gun game. Well, I guess if you have zombies, you're gonna have guns. So, all right. So number 8 is map 32. Yeah, and this process can be repeated on any world, and it's pretty modular. Okay, there we go. So that puts a boot. I just put like a bootleg in the bottom of the water because some of the chests should be easy to get to. It shouldn't be everything is impossible to reach. There should be a lot that are just there, in somewhat not obvious spaces, but I can literally hear them in these rooms. Quantity is always going to be the winner here. The more you have, the better. So what I'm currently working on, in case some of you got here late and don't really get what I'm doing, so there's a random chance when a zombie spawns, and zombies spawn in a custom manner. They don't spawn naturally. They do, and they don't spawn naturally at the same time. But they're every time. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, another thing, zombies have random speed applied to them, so they could be extra fast or extra slow. How do you become a beta tester? I'll just be letting you know on streams and in my Discord server. I'm basically off the map right now. Anyways, so how the system I'm working on right now works is there are random mobs that spawn, and these random mobs have a chance to spawn a briefcase. There are different types of suitcases. So there's a briefcase, a suitcase, I don't know, a box, a random cardboard box. These things you can open by crouching next to them, and they give you loots, but there is a very low but real chance that these things will drop a map and a key. The map helps you figure out where the extra loot cache is. So the map points you to these chests, and the chests will drop random stuff depending on how good or bad the chest is. So a bootleg crate, which is what I'm putting in right now, is usually easy to access, but only gives you like kind of like just not too interesting stuff. But you don't know what rarity the chest is when you get to it. Okay, so that's what I'm doing. So the more of these, the better. Also, that baby zombie is not going to be a thing in the, like, those are not going, a baby zombie that runs super fast is not going to be common when I finish the spawning tables. And there are also going to be different rarities of spawning depending on what parts of the map you're in. So some parts of the map may have better loot crates that drop over there, but they will also have harder mobs. Like better loot crates, like that's where like, oh, there's a military crate over here, but wait, this part of the map has a different spawn table, which makes fast baby zombies more common. So there's those kind of nuances involved. But for now, I'm just trying to put a bunch of crates everywhere with maps associated to them, just so that there's variety. So when you get one, you really don't know or have it memorized what type it is, because there's just too many for you to memorize. It's just, there's that much variety. So that's kind of what I'm focusing on, just adding variety. And over time, maybe you'll start to get familiar with like, oh, this area has a bunch of chests that are garbage. So if the chest is over here, then I just won't use it. And that's kind of what I want, though. I want people to learn over time, because that just shows their dedication, you know, to the map. And that's, I think that's cool if people actually learn those things. It's not discouraged. Okay. So this is map 34. So I added 10. This section of the map, I think, is going to be the beta testing section. Like, this is where I'll do a lot of beta testing work before we go global with this thing. Like, before it starts to use the entire map. I'll just use this section to test some features. But let me show you what I mean. So we can actually get a quick test running. I can show you everything involved once I figure out, once I go back to the data packs and update the data pack really quickly. Let's see, event, create, spawn. Then your range is 1 to 10. And then there we go. So the chest gets placed in random areas. No, the chest can't get placed in random areas because maps cannot be randomly dynamically generated. You cannot randomly dynamically generate where things are on the map. The chests are placed in hard-coded areas. You get a random one of the maps. The things that are randomly placed are suitcases with clues to where the chest is, essentially. So let me show you what I mean. So, yeah. Let me go back to the first area. So you might see some flashes of other mobs, and that's just because it uses the core mob spawning system to spawn mobs in. So it'll look for like a skeleton, and then instead of spawning a skeleton, it'll just spawn a zombie there, or it won't spawn anything. But let me see, and I will make suitcases more common in the future. They're called crates. Everything is called a crate, kind of. So TP at P to at E tag equals crate, sort equals nearest, limit equals 1. Okay, so a crate spawned there in the fire department. I just didn't notice. So yeah, they'll just spawn around. And they also do despawn after about 3 minutes. So new ones can spawn in. It has like some kind of gate control. But here's a suitcase. If I crouch by it, oh, did I reload already? Yep, okay. So if I sneak by it for 3 seconds, it will pop open, and you will get a map and a key. The loot key does not tell you anything. It'll just tell you that it is key number 9. Okay, so I have key number 9, and I have this map. The map points me to wherever number 9 is. Well, number 9, Burger King foot lettuce, is over here. And I think that it's one that I literally just put in. And I just go to where the banner is. I think it's down here somewhere. Yep, okay. So then you use the key on it. Okay, and it did not work. Okay, well, I think it's because of the color. Let me do data get block. Crate key 9, data get STS selected item tag. These have to have the right. Oh, these have the wrong tag. I did not update that. Wow, that's anticlimactic. I need to fix that. Hold on. 9. It's funny because 9 and 8 are the only ones I forgot to write the number. So I guess we'll just go get another one. So let me TP to one of the crates. This crate spawned in. Oh, that look at that. That's cool, dude. That's cool. Look at this. So it just spawned randomly with a random rotation. It just spawned on here. Like that's just cool. Imagine finding that in the world. You're like, how did this spawn here? The chest does not disappear after you loot it. I'll show you everything that happens with the chest. So I get this, and then it gives me key number 4. Key number 4 is actually really close to me. So sometimes they're really close to you, but the more of these I add to the game, the less likely it is that one spawns close to you. Key number 4 is actually inside this boxing room. I'm going to cheat and just fly into it. Where did it go? Oh, here it is. Okay, so here's loot number 4. So when I right click it, Jesus Christ, I don't think I added it to this. Crate key, data get block. Crate key 4, 4, 4, stick. Okay, well, I don't know why this isn't working. I wish this was a little bit clearer on what is going on. It was literally working a second ago, but maybe I'm editing functions that aren't in the right place. Let's see. No, this is the right place. Let's go to open. It could be because I changed the color of the... I mean, it's possible that I changed the color of the name. Let me see. Say general. Oh, is one byte and one isn't? It could be. No, that should not be the problem. No, because it's not even saying none. It should say the word. It should say something. Let me see. Civilian. Yeah, it's not saying anything. It's just like, I think one of my main looping functions isn't working. Oh, did it create the scoreboard? It didn't create the scoreboard. Oh, I'm stupid. I guess the init didn't work. Or no, I didn't put it in the init. Oh my goodness. I did not create the scoreboard. Yeah, that would be kind of tricky for it to detect nothing. Alright, so now it'll... Yeah, it did detect a civilian. Let me just get rid of those words there. Alright, now when I open it, you'll see what happened. That's what happens when you open it. And it gave me stone, because that's just what drops out of a civilian chest is a stone. And I will probably make it clear the map as well. Yeah, I forgot the load function. Yeah, that happens in test world. So yeah, that's how it works. So you right click it and it drops items out of it. Those items also are tagged so that only you can pick those items up. I make sure that with all of the loot. And yeah, so if somebody was by you, they can't just pick up your loot before you are able to. Which probably won't happen, but if it does, you're good. Oh, here, I found one. They're not that hard to find, honestly. Oh, okay. So loot crate number 2, and then it's over there. So we go find it. So this is kind of stuff you can do every day, like any time of the day. You can do this kind of stuff. So I'm just trying to create activities for players to do to like get their items any time of the day. Do crate change rarity every refill? It will be cool and also have custom textures. That's an idea. I could change the rarity of the crate whenever a player like opens it or something. Like it changes the rarity, so then you just never know which one has which rarity. But I don't really think that's too important if you have so many, like as many as I plan to have. Like if the quantity is high, I don't think it's going to matter. Anyways, so here we go. So we go to this, and then it gives us a stone because that's a civilian crate. And I'm also gonna add some like extra effects that happen besides just opening it, like particles and stuff. Yeah, and also there's going to be different things than a suitcase. It won't just be a suitcase. It'll be I'm going to have other ones. Like I mean not a suitcase, a briefcase. I'm going to have a suitcase and I'm going to have other like models. There's going to be variety. But overall the system is set up and the system works pretty good. I can change the rarity every time they open it. That's an idea because the rarity doesn't really matter. I think there should be bosses. Yeah, I mean there's gonna be a lot. Oh, and I got the same exact crate. But yeah, there's gonna be bosses for sure. Like there's gonna be other types of mobs. That's like later. I'm kind of working on reasons to play the game first. Which this is a reason to play the game. There are random things for you to go explore and obtain random loot from. So that's kind of the first thing I worked on. And also I worked on the gun code. Because that's really complicated. Community bosses. I don't really know what you mean by that. Ones that you fight together, maybe. Uh, it's a possibility. But I haven't come up with bosses yet. There's gonna be a lot of community based things you have to do as well. And basically the way that the game works is it's kind of like a pyramid. So you have like early game, mid game, end game. I've already worked out a lot of stuff on paper, but not specific items. And when I add an update, it's going to basically only focus on adding early game, but the late game, the mid game, and end game content gets added on from that early game content. For example, there's some weapons that you can get in the wild and they work different ways, and you can upgrade those weapons or you can find ones that are better and just replace it. So if I add a content update that adds some new guns or new locations, those are going to have new early game items to access, but you still have to upgrade them to get to the end game version of that weapon, if you get what I mean. People will camp on a good loot crate. You can't really camp because you get random keys, so you don't really know which loot crate. You can figure out what keys go to the best loot crate and go get like all of the same if you wanted. But keys are going to be pretty rare actually. It's not going to be as common as I just showed it. I do agree though. Yeah, making the rarity change. Like I can make the rarity change every time you open it, or it could make it random. But the problem is, I kind of want to make chests that are harder to get to. Because here's the thing: if you have random rarities, you get rid of the you turn it into you'll develop a market in another way. So with defined rarities, you could set up some kind of a market in the sense of I know that key number 5 is a military crate, so that one's worth more than key number 4. But at the same time, like that sucks, and having random rarities definitely gets rid of that. But the problem is now you're going to establish a second type of market in the sense of accessibility. So key number 5 is worth more than key number 4 because it's in the middle of the road. It's just literally in a water fountain. It's so easy to access. So then you kind of develop a economy around ease of access, and I would rather have an economy around something that's difficult to obtain but gives a good reward than having an economy around something that's easy to obtain and can give you the same rewards. Granted, I could just have some kind of a pool system so this chest can be plus or minus one rarity, like some kind of a randomization in the rarity. I mean, that's one possibility, but you're just going to get a little bit of both in that case. You're gonna have a little bit of both problems seeping in that case. But it's something I can balance. It's possible. Yeah, that's the thing. I can also have different weights for different keys, and part of the weights for different keys right now is established just by how many there are. So if I go out and make 100 like part of it is just established by how much you make of them. I don't even know what the rarities of each chest is, so maybe I should be indicating that as I go, so it's easier to do those kind of weights later if I wanted to. I do agree though. The rarity of the chest is going to become a bit of a problem in terms of balancing what people go after. But keys are not going to be so they're not going to be so plentiful. You're gonna have like a less than 10% chance of getting a key in the first place when you open these. The only way that it leans towards Fallout is kind of in the world design, in the sense of you have kind of a post-apocalyptic world with small towns that kind of have their own economy and ecosystems in terms of like trading and stuff. And there's also going to be PvP involved. That potentially in the future I'll add PvP. I don't want to do it initially because we don't have any players, so people don't really know how the game works. But it's kind of like Fallout in that regard, but it's not like Fallout at all when it comes to lore or gameplay loops. That's nothing with Fallout, but kind of like the world, like the generic world is. And yeah, there will be a trade function. Is suitcase using loot table? Yeah, the suitcase uses the loot table, but it also uses a fake loot table when it comes to figuring out whether or not to give you a key. So there is a loot table for giving you stuff that come out of a suitcase, and then there is a RNG that rolls to figure out whether or not you get a key just binarily. Well, yeah, I mean, hopefully a lot of people do join, but it is a very big project from a balancing item and command side, which is why look at this world. Did I build this? Hell no. This came out in 2012 or 2014. Hell no. But that's why I'm using this world, because it's a open access world. They don't mind you using it for other projects. And it looks amazing. So, I mean, I can't spend much time building or managing a builds, so I needed a lot of time to work on the processes like this and balancing. PvP arena. It's not an arena. It will be PvP anywhere. But that's like a later update. That's not going to be in the beta slash the alpha slash beta. It might not even be in 1.0. It would be in like 2.0 when we add the system. Like we already kind of came up with on paper how these systems are going to work, but it's going to be complicated. Is that Benny talking? No, that's me. I think I was just leaning away from my mic. But yeah, I'm gonna be I'll make a roadmap eventually so that people can, like, once I'm a little bit further, you can kind of see what the goals are. And make kind of like, I'll make like a roadmap so you can kind of see what's going on, like what's next in the future. Sadly, Benny doesn't really have a way to communicate. Whoa, a lot of people joining. Here's the map icon. So you sent me a map icon thing. Yeah, I know where those are in the files. I'll just edit them and change the colors myself. But yeah, definitely that's a good idea. We made some good we came up with some really good solutions today. Yeah, if I had to build this, the project would never get done. And that's kind of what, like, I am very self-aware in the sense that I never get projects done. Like, I come up with an idea, I work on it until I'm like 3/4 done or halfway done, and then I don't finish it. Like, especially with COD Zombies. I've remade COD Zombies twice, successfully completely 2 times. But the third time, which is the one that I was making some videos on, I was not able to complete just because I started to get really bored in it, because I don't like COD Zombies much. I don't like the gameplay loop of it. I like RPGs more. So I'm trying to focus on working on something that I like more, something that's more fun to me, so that I can have a better chance of completing it, as well as not doing any building whatsoever, which gives me a better chance of completing it, because building usually is what makes my projects slow down, because I'm not good at building and I don't like it. So will I make a wiki for this? Yeah, I'm gonna make a full website once I have enough to put on it. You need a team. I don't really need a team. I can work the work will be better if I do all the code solo. I'm going to eventually have a team for beta testers and handling the beta testing and organizing kind of a bug report system. And then I want to have a team involved with texturing or like custom additions, like things to add that don't require a lot of coding. Like basically just variety type stuff, but of course there needs to be code to handle that in the first place. So where is a tutorial about moving block? I could make a tutorial about moving a block. You mean like physically picking up a block and moving it around? That's pretty easy. Also, I noticed there's so much help signs. Uh yeah, that's there is a lot of help signs. I didn't build this, so but it is a world that I'm not really happy with the scenery actually. Ideally, this world would be and yeah, I agree with you, Hexa. Hexa says that working on a data pack solo is better. Yeah, there is working on code by yourself is a lot easier to keep clean. But this is the ideal world I would want to put the builds in. But I could not import them because of the variety of heights. Not in this world, but in theirs as well. So this would be the ideal landscape in my mind of what the landscape would be, more Fallout themed. But I really just don't want to have to build or spend all the build work to try and import this build into the other scheme, the other theme environment. So instead, I'm just going to live with this one. Pushable blocks and movable blocks work the exact same way. I can't guarantee you I'm going to make a video about it anytime in the near future. If you put it in the Discord video suggestions page, it's more likely, but still. To do it though, I would say watch my video on block ID packager. It was something I released a year ago, and it is literally a very simple website. You just plug numbers in, and I updated it recently to be more efficient and faster code. Not on the website, on the Minecraft side. So you use the block ID packager, and it'll give you a data pack that lets you convert any block into a falling sand block, and any falling sand block back into its original block. But I'm pretty sure that it doesn't matter, because once you turn it into a falling sand, when it touches the ground, then it'll just become a regular. So you can use that to go back and forth. If the crates come from the sky, do you mean the loot boxes or the things like the suitcases? Block ID Packager is amazing. Get out of here. Block ID Packager is the future. No, I mean I use it a lot. Block ID Packager is bomb. It's very efficient. It does 27 command, like it does the amount of commands it takes now. I patched it so the amount of commands it takes uh the amount of commands it takes for the block ID packager is proportional to how complex the block is. So if you put down a block, if you try and convert a block of dirt, it will take, I think, 27 commands, 22 commands. If you try and convert a command block, it'll take maybe 80, which is pretty efficient. And it uses an 8-branch system by default. Very clean, very clean. All right. So I do need to build a town. So there will be some building involved. Go check it out. It's on cloudwolf.github.io. I updated it literally the other month, a month ago. 2 months ago. It's updated to 1.17 as well. So you just go to block ID packager. It's on cloudwolf.github.io, and then you go to the generators block ID packager tab, and then select, and then you can pick whatever you want. And it has custom input, custom output as well. So you can give it some parameters, and you can come up with your own conversions. It's the perfect tool anytime you need to convert one block into something else. Uh, if it needs to be something else that's data based. So it's pretty amazing. It's pretty clean. It took me a long time to get it working. uh, but keep in mind when you click the download pack button, it can take up to 30 seconds to a minute because it runs on your computer and does a lot of crap in the background. So yeah, go ahead and give it a while before the download shows up. There's no progress bar. What MC version do you like the most in general? That's what Karin Kai asked. Definitely that's tough. 1.13. 1.13 was the best update in my opinion because it made functions more usable and it updated execute command. That's because that's all I care about. Since 1.13, there's been tiny updates like item modifiers that are really cool, and I would argue 1.17 is the best update since 1.13 for my world. Lucas wants a refresher on the server, so I'll just give it a brief overview. There is a ginormous city here that is post-apocalyptic. Zombies spawn around. There will be a town of last survivors, and you will fight zombies and go out and explore to scavenge loot, and get better guns and items and weapons, and also participate in custom events that are time global based. So only this event can be doable at this time of this day of this week, and for the better or worse of the town. And yeah, that's kind of an overview of it. So it's an MMO RPG zombie game. 1.18 is literally nothing because it's literally just what 1.17 has, except they make the world survival changes official. I don't care about 1.18 because I don't play survival. So, oh, briefcase, let's go. I'm also gonna change how this looks when you open these things so that they look a little bit more fancy, so to speak. And as always, Benny is making the 3D models for this. But I need to set up some kind of a survivor's headquarters. I don't know where I want to put. Oh, this building looks kind of nice, honestly. I don't lie. It kind of thick though. It kind of dummy thick, and it's kind of like a government building. Ooh, ooh, tempting, tempting, tempting. I need to basically transform one of the buildings into like a survivor's headquarters. Also, I'm pretty sure wandering traders are spawning. Yeah. Opening UIs. Some kind of UI support with commands. I don't think it's super necessary, but it would be useful, but not. I don't think it'd be revolutionary. I think what I want to see, if I want to see something revolutionary with commands, not necessarily revolutionary, but something that makes a big impact, would be slash shaders in the sense of, but what that means, the implications of having that be a thing. What it means is have resource packs and data packs the same thing. So a resource pack and a data pack are linked. But that would be really challenging. But if they had that, then slash shader would be possible, so you could equip a different shader to the player with a command. 1.18 isn't going to be much. Fireworks rockets I don't want to put. Also, some sound design will go a long way as well for that opening stuff. Oh, there's a briefcase here. Just open it for the hell of it, see what kind of key we get. Number 8. I don't think I've gotten that one. I think that government building was the best I'll get. A programming language in Minecraft with a data pack. I don't see why you would need that because data packs are their own programming language. Yeah, modifying player data would be something interesting, but also not likely to happen. I could turn this farm into a... I could turn the farmhouse into like the survivor's place because it would be very detached, or like this area because it's very detached from the most dangerous spots of the city. But at the same time, well, there are multiple parts to this city, so I might find a more eligible building. Let's see. Prison, I definitely want to save to be a place where all of the toughest zombies spawn. MBT crafting support would be garbage. This is a airplane or some kind of manufacturer building. That would definitely not be where you would want to shack up as a survivor. MBT crafting will not happen ever, as they've claimed, because it will only happen if they completely rework the way that crafting works. So that would be a huge change on their part. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's very unlikely. But adding that custom world generation was also unlikely, so you never know what they're gonna do. I'm also giving you guys a nice look at the actual overall build just by flying around, so you can kind of see. Here's the shipyard. It's big, but it's not humongo. No, this is a build from 2014 that I did not make. I've made that pretty clear, silly cat, unless you left and came back. I am not good at building, so if I can find a build that other people have made open source and let you use in whatever project you want, I'm gonna jump on that because it's perfect. Like, this is perfect for what I want to do. Besides, the surrounding environment is not dead enough. It's not quite dead enough for my taste, but I'll live with it because the build is so beautiful. And I'm pretty sure that that building that we saw at first is probably our best bet, honestly. So this is gonna be probably where the survivors hole up. I think this is our best bet. And the other perfect thing is it's close to where I already put some of the other things. So what we'll do is we'll do slash world border that. And it just needs to be like 128 slash set slash world border center here. So now we'll be able to kind of see like where the world border is, and we can just kind of expand the world border until it's at a, like, move it around until it's good. So I think if we come a little bit more this way, that's better. I want to, like, just for our beta testing, I want to prevent people from going to parts of the map that I have not coded any logic in. So I think we're going to need a little bit bigger. So let's do 180. Okay, that's better. No, maybe 164. Wait, about loading Java files via data/resource pack. Just join a server and all of a sudden 2 megabytes of mods turn into something else entirely. I guess if you combine resource pack and data pack, that would do that. That would be weird. Yeah. Ah, yes, this free build. It is not satisfactory. Not very pleased. Not big enough. I think 180 was the right size. I don't want to include too much of this back area, but I want... Oh, that's perfect. Okay, and then it includes some of the street, which is fine. I'll live with that. But it doesn't include this area, and I want that. No, it's alright. Let's see where it is. Alright, so this is kind of the area, the block that you're allowed to operate in for now. Will there be scoreboard sidebar? Maybe. World border texture is weird. I think you can change it. I might actually change the world border texture to have no texture. Or just like singular dots. So then you just see like a grid of dots, maybe? Yeah, I'll play with it. I'll play with it. All right, so yeah, this is I think the building we're going to use for the like survivors. So oh, what? Hello? Briefcase on the roof. So this gives us some of our buildings that we already put stuff in, which is nice. Do you think hard coding is more lag efficient? It depends. I think the best thing you can do for fixing lag is reimagine your system. Change the way that you think about what you want to do. For example, here's my goal. I wanted to have random crates spawn, like random chests, not chests, entities that have like suitcases. And I want those suitcases to give me a key that leads me to a chest. And when you open the chest, it gives you items. So how did I imagine this to be lag efficient? What I first did was I thought, what is already spawning? Mobs. How do mobs spawn? Randomly. So I left random mob spawns on, and I go to any mob that spawns in brand new, and I decide, well, what do I do? Do I spawn a crate? Do I spawn a zombie? I don't know. So I just do RNG for that. All right, cool. So that makes it lag efficient because I don't have to have any custom spawning code that like spawns an entity and spread players it in hopes that the spread player works. Perfect. All right. So then the next thing you do. So the next thing you do is you're like, all right, so RNG give me key. That's pretty clear. That's pretty simple. Player. So what do I do for this the suitcase? Suitcase is going to be an item frame. It has 8 finite rotations it can be. So you randomize the rotations between 1 and 8, and it uses an item frame. That's efficient because item frames are the most efficient way to display an item. Perfect. All right, cool. So that's like kind of an efficiency thing you can look at from like the perspective of like not changing the way that you want to do a concept, just kind of working around what you have to work with. So then where do you go to the next? So you need to have chests around the map. How do you remember what chest is which and how are you going to handle this whole thing? So what did I do for that? Well, I designed it in a way that there would take 0 entities for these chests. So you put a chest, and in the chest there is a stick. The stick gives me information on what the rarity is. They could steal the stick, but they can't if you make it so anytime they open the chest, when it's not locked, it will it'll teleport them. It'll clone the chest and move it so that it exits your inventory. So basically, what I have going on for the chest is you use the chest scoreboard to detect when they open a chest. It runs a raycast, but not really a raycast. I actually did hard-coded positions because I only need like 4. So it looks for the chest. It finds the chest. Then then it checks. It copies the data from inside the chest, from the item that's inside the chest, which could be a problem if people could steal it. But you'll see how you prevent people from stealing it. You copy the item from the data in the chest. You figure out what chest number it is, because on the item you store an ID, which is a number, and on the key you have an ID, which is a number. So you compare those 2 numbers, and if the numbers are the same, then you give them the loot from the chest, and if you're holding something with the same ID number as the thing in the chest, you give them the loot from the chest, and you clear one of those items, and then to prevent them from stealing the stick that holds the data, you clone the chest to a hard-coded coordinate, delete the chest, then clone the hard-coded coordinate back to where the chest was, and that will make them close the UI. No, the stick they should never be able to obtain, hypothetically. Granted, I haven't tested on a server. It might be possible to steal the stick on a server, in which case we have a bunch of problems, but it's impossible to do in single player. I mean, I'll show you what I mean. Let me grab one of these keys. It's impossible to steal that stick. You'll see it for a flash, but it's impossible to steal the stick. Unless it's on a server. I mean, then it might happen. I don't know. I haven't tested. This is the chest that exists in this right here. That's the one in here, isn't it? Oh, you won't be able to place stuff. Okay, it's here. All right, so let me grab a bunch of these. Yeah, you can see. Oh, you can see that I was not able to grab that because you know, it's in the same tick. But on a server, you might be able to cause a bug where you somehow disconnect your internet at the same tick that you open the chest and then you steal the stick. I don't know. You could do lag switching, but I'm pretty sure lag switching wouldn't update that you have it. No, you can't move the mouse that fast. I mean, you have one tick, which I don't think is enough time. I mean, we'll have to play around with that, but this system is pretty good. So by using the item inside the chest to indicate what chest it is, basically it eliminates any kind of entity. So there's no entity required for the chest. So that reduces the amount of entities. Will there be a record? You mean a recording of the stream? I always have my streams in the playlist called streams that's unlisted. It's a playlist that you can find if you go to my channel and click on playlists. Okay. So, yeah, we set up a couple of these things. Now, really, what I need to do is work on loot, like what loot you get from the chests. Build this little civilian headquarters and develop some kind of a trading system. Oh yeah, there will be a trading system between players as well, but it's going to be known as the Bazaar. It's a very regulated trading system. There will not be any trading in the actual world. It will just be in the Bazaar. The way that the Bazaar works is you place down, you put down your thing that you want to sell, and people can come up and buy it. But if you go offline, then it's gone. Oh, it's alright, us. I understand. I get what you mean. Ugh. A lot of people on my server do not have English as their first language, and I've lived with people that did not have English as their first language for at least 10 years, so I'm used to it. If mob spawns are they replaced by loot, would that cause zombies to infinitely try to spawn? That's actually an interesting byproduct. So I was thinking of ways to try and fix that. Mobs that spawn are either replaced by loot or zombies, so it does basically cause every mob. It basically just causes zombies to overflow. Not really overflow, but have. If there was going to be 100 mobs that the game wants to spawn, it will keep spawning until there are 100 zombies because of the way the game works. So there's ways to counteract that. You have different types of mobs that spawn and some that aren't actually that hostile. So you kind of just increase diversity. Or you could spawn invisible mobs. That's another option. Trading will be so hard. No, it'll just have to be happen in real time. Yeah, yeah, the trading AT is going to be like a garage sale. You have to be on the server to do it. But that's the best way to handle trading. And it's going to be a bazaar, so anybody can come up and buy whatever you're trying to sell. And I might even add a way to haggle. That'd be kind of funny. But that's how I want to implement it. If I made it so that your items could stay while you're not online, that would have a bunch of exploits and have some kind of data overflow issues. Like, it'd be really hard to manage the data from that. I mean, you could have situations where players never come back to your server, and then you have kind of like dead data from their trade. And I want to limit how much dead data you have. On a server, you want to limit dead data. So once spawns are done, you have enough loot to justify them, able to balance it that way. I don't know what you mean by loot to justify them, but I will have... I don't know what you mean by that. Like, there will be enough variety of mobs to um, make sure that there's not an overflow of zombies, if that's what you mean. Obviously, we have the problem in this building of there's a lot of zombies, but I'm going to also have exclusion boundaries. You'll see what I mean, but there will basically be a... Okay, so different regions of the map are going to have markers, and the way that it works is when a zombie spawns, it's actually going to first look for the nearest marker, and that marker, it's going to transfer all of the scores associated with that marker for balancing, and then use that to figure out what mobs or things to spawn. So it will look for the nearest marker, and that marker will have some information on the rarity of each thing. One briefcase per 10 zombies killed slash spawned. That's not how that works. Briefcase has about a 10% chance to spawn when a zombie spawns. That's where it is currently. So yeah, about 10 zombies there should spawn one briefcase, but there's the bonus condition of it won't spawn a briefcase if there is one within a certain amount of blocks. So they're actually a little bit rarer. But yeah, I'm also going to be making a system for uh, ensuring that certain like having balancing so that some areas are harder than others because the chances of this type of zombie spawning is higher or lower. So kind of around the base area, oh, what was that? Kind of around the base area, like the survivors headquarters, the chances of things spawning zombies is going to be basically 100%. But as you go out, it'll start to become a little bit more like Fallout-y. I mean, not Fallout, like Left 4 Dead-y, in the sense that you're going to have types of zombies that spawn that can do different abilities, and they will have higher chances than in these areas, and less crawlers, which would be considered like the really slow kind of decayed zombies. So it's the balance. There's going to be a lot of balancing systems for figuring out what mobs spawn where. So what I'm doing here in this place, this is like the survivor headquarters, so I'm just cleaning up all the grass real quick, and then I'm going to work on fixing up the floors and blocking off different areas. Up here, I'll put like a little sniper outpost where there'll be some guys kind of like watching. You should add a method to make custom stairs. I don't know what custom stairs is. If you go with invisible zombie idea, make sure that you don't have custom names because then that excludes them from the mob cap. That's a good thing to keep in mind. I don't use custom names on just about anything, but yeah. I mean, they would basically be invisible zombies that are on the same team as the players, so they don't really attack you and you don't really attack them. Also, I think I'll just get rid of all these, like, overgrowth, because they, like, cleaned the place up. So, it's going to be cleaned up, but not totally refined. So I'll get rid of the overgrowth. But yeah, I mean, that's part of a way that you can balance. You can have basically invisible mobs that don't do anything. That's one way you can balance that. Will there be custom NPCs? Yeah, tons of them. There's going to be tons of custom NPCs that you have to do different kinds of... There's, like... Okay, so what you've seen today is kind of my... one of the many gameplay loop mechanics that I'm adding, in the sense of gameplay loop. So what I mean by loop is, when I say gameplay loop, I mean any mechanic that causes people to come back and play more just for the fun of it. So the briefcase system is a gameplay loop. Another gameplay loop is going to be quests. So there will be questing systems that involve the gameplay loop. And there will be repeatable quests. There will be NPCs that want you to do repeatable quests, and there will be NPCs that want you to do one-time quests that are part of a story that every player has to go through. The events will let you develop the world as you play. So there will be weekly, bi-weekly / like monthly events that occur all the time, and they slightly change the way that the world works. In terms of they will affect things such as how many supplies are obtained by the survivors from other settlements, because there will be other settlements that you can't go to, but you will receive supplies from them. So, for example, when there's going to be one of the events we talked about was a caravan. Essentially, it's like a wandering. Think of it as a wandering trader that wants to come to the this building and deliver supplies to be traded. If you do not defend it from zombie attacks, then you will not get a lot of supplies, which means that the bazaar, where people buy items and trade, will not have a lot of item options. If you do defend it, then you'll get rewards, and there will be more things for everybody to trade for that time period. Oh, the quests are going to be really interesting. You have no idea. And when you share the IP, be this server for Wars and version, it'll be the latest version of Minecraft whenever it is, and the IP will be released to like a select group of people for beta testing first, and then I'll have a full video announcement when I'm in the 1.0 phase. Anyways, so there's going to be those events that happen regularly, and they'll be set up with commands and schedule and checking real world time clocks. But then there will also be events that are very brief. They are like for a specific, like they're only one-time events. One-time events are going to be ones that will greatly impact the game, like in terms of what happens in the events, like how well it's received too. If nobody's playing during those events, if there isn't, then I mean obviously things are not going to be good. If not enough players are playing. But yeah, those events are going to be bigger though, and there'll be a lot more warning as to when they happen. The caravan events, there won't be a lot of warning as to when they happen. It'll be, you might figure out in the same day when it happens. But the big events will be kind of like a thing that's coordinated. This will just be a vanilla, well, it'll probably be a spigot server. It's no mods. It's not paper. All these things are commands, so. Oh, suitcase on the roof, suitcase on the roof. But yeah, I need to add a marker inside this building that basically prevents any mobs from spawning in it. And also, obviously, add lighting so that the default system doesn't even try. Okay. Actually, I think I can speed this up just by using water bucket. But yeah, I want to design a server that has, like, interesting things going on all the time, like an RPG. I'm pretty sure paper is a mod, and I don't want to run a mod-based server. If it's not a mod-based server, then I'll try using it, but it'll most likely just be Spigot. Yeah. As opposed to some of the things I did, the other servers I worked on were more like content in chunks. This is like content in little pieces at a time, like little events at a time. Whereas the other server, which was a COD server, was in huge chunks. So you would have like an entire map that gets released that takes a lot of effort. This is like smaller incremental steps that you can... It's more similar to the server I made in 1.10. That was really popular. It was an RPG server. If I used fill, then I would break the grass that's around the building. And I don't mind just hand breaking some of this because it helps me. It's just something to do in the background while I talk. Pretty zen. Alright, there you go. So we cleaned up the building. Now we have to put some lighting in and all that stuff. And kind of plan out what each floor is going to have, because obviously you're not going to have a disco floor. This is kind of like a library. I don't mind having a library, but I might convert the library into the bazaar. Having a schoolroom isn't a bad idea, because you probably have kids. Where do people sleep? That is a good question. Probably on this second floor we'll have some kind of a living quarters, like a living space instead of these cubicles, but I also want to keep the cubicles as kind of like remnants of like the way things were, because they can't get rid of all of the old stuff from the building, because they would have to like throw it off the roof or something. So I definitely want to like make it look like they moved in here, not like this was built this way. Thank you, X. Hopefully I keep making more in the future. What are you using for an MC server? The current host, if you mean what server host, how I'm hosting it, the current host is probably going to be the one that I had my sponsorship with this past video, which is Revive Node Hosting. They were pretty good. So I'll probably stick with them, but otherwise I'll pick another host if they're not good enough for this project. But yeah, I will have to work on the lore, because I haven't really developed the lore for this yet. Not too much. Just the rough lore, not the fine lore, as in like, here's this character and they're this way and this is their things that they want and all that. Haven't developed that lore. Alright, so what kind of block? I feel like andesite would be kind of like a makeshift replacement. So out here, I'll use andesite, kind of like there was dirt there, but they just use andesite to like fill in the patch it up. Yeah, that looks good. That looks patchy. Alright, so now I'll use a fill command. What? Oh, horse dirt. So we'll have stuff out here. It'll be cool. And then what kind of thing would be like a patchy thing for the roof? Probably just like diorite that's like, yeah, diorite that's like crusty, right? It's fair. Alright, so let's do that. Fill. There we go. And we'll just leave it kind of broken, because they're not gonna, I doubt they'd be able to get on the roof to do some full repairs. Then inside here, I think I can just go with some spruce planks. Because you probably wouldn't have access to marble or granite floor. Granite to like fix the granite. So yeah, I'll just go with granite on the floor to fix that. Let's see, calcite. Oh, you're right. Calcite also would work on the roof. Let me take a look. Yeah, I think calcite will work. Yeah, that looks better. Kind of blends more. Looks a little bit fancy, but it's alright. I'll leave it for now. Alright, so let's fill this in with andesite. Alright, so that fixes up the roof. Then, yeah. So many zombies. Hello, sir. Yeah, I'll need to work out everything here, so I'll need to work out, like... I don't want to break the immersion. I want to make things seem realistic here. Hey, what's up, GalaxyBot? Nice to you to join us as a new sub. I don't know what video got you to sub, but that's cool. I don't get a whole lot of new subs, honestly. My sub numbers don't really blow up. All right. So I'm just gonna replace all this floor in here, and this is, I want to keep this as like a meeting room so that they can have meetings, right? That would be realistic if they had some meetings, maybe, but I might convert it into a sleeping room or something. We're gonna need bathrooms as well. We're gonna need bathrooms, and I don't know where I will put those. Maybe I'll put them in the back, and I'll make like a little back gated area, and we'll have like porta potty outhouses That's funny. Because you have to think about like how these people will live. Why doesn't Minecraft make world edit? Because it's not, doesn't seem like something that Minecraft would have. I don't know. Just because something's useful doesn't mean it fits with Minecraft, and they have to be really careful with how they code things, whereas world edit, since it's just a branch of Minecraft, like, it's not as big of a deal if world edit has a bug. Also, world edit doesn't even work anymore. It's not up to date. It was last updated for like 1.15. Could you board up the windows with signs? Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Oh, a makeshift med bay. Yeah, that's right. There's so many freaking zombies in here. Jesus. It's like as the ones from the other parts of the map despawn, they respawn in here. That's alright. I'll eventually add exclusions here. But yeah, these windows, I think what I'll do is I'll put regular glass, because I guess they would have access to regular glass, but not like stained glass, because that seems a little bit too nice. So we'll basically, it'll be patched up, so you'll see you'll see a blend of regular glass and stained glass. I think that patched up. But you would want this all boarded up. You wouldn't want solid glass for zombies, so I'll probably change out some of this too. You wouldn't want a glass wall. What am I working on? This is a server, an MMORPG zombie server. That's the idea, the current plan with events. I've reiterated it so many times that each time I say it, I'm going to say less about it, but kind of just if I'm being very overgeneral, it is an MMORPG server. I think this area over here, what I'll do is I'll take these bookshelves, but I'll try and maintain how many there are and kind of like put them up against the wall. So I'll make it look like they pushed the bookshelves to the wall, because you don't need the bookshelves, right? When you're in a zombie apocalypse, you don't need bookshelves. Like, I don't want to delete all of the space and refill it. I want to make it look like they moved things. So, yeah, that's what I'll do. I think that's easy for me to do here. And honestly, just like pushing the bookshelves up against the glass makes a lot of sense, right? So that's what I'm going to do. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. There you go. No more zombies. We're building. All right. Yeah. So it'll just be like that, and then I'll use a debug stick to get rid of you can make this not attach using the debug stick. I don't know if you knew that. So I can go like this. There you go. So I can go like that, and now it doesn't attach. Why don't you use it? Use command to replace coarse dirt. Because I don't want to replace all of the coarse dirt with spruce planks, and then it'll be harder to recognize what's supposed to be replaced with what. Use Loom for empty bookshelves. Oh, I could. Does Loom... Loom has UI, though. You mean like that? I think that's what the Loom is, yeah. We could add in, but I would have to do data, modify block, set value. No, so you can't prevent people from using a Loom. That's kind of annoying. I teleported the zombies into the void, so they just don't exist anymore. Things in the void instantly despawn. It won't be kind of disheveled here, so it doesn't line up perfectly, but it's enough. And then where it doesn't line up, we'll add extra, like, signs. This middle bookshelf, though, we can turn into some kind of, something. Yeah, everybody wanted a cave update. But I would say people that are in my, like, here right now, are of the more technical side, so they don't necessarily want the cave update as much, probably. I don't want the cave update. I don't care about the cave update much. I will say it's a little bit annoying that the cave update did not come out when it should have, which is 1.17. Because, like, if you're gonna do one, just get it over with and then give us other content, but now it's really looking like we won't even get that other content. So... could use falling blocks to make bookshelves more flexible. I don't know what you mean by that. I don't care about. I don't want to use entities to increase. I don't want to use entities for design. That's a bad idea. Well, it's not a bad idea in itself, but using entities for design is going to be laggy. That's why I deleted all of the item frames on the map that aren't the item frames that I use for suitcases. Okay. I haven't decided what I want to do with this area yet, so that's why obviously this is not, you want to do something with the center ones. Well, the less entities the better. I mean, entities aren't, you obviously need entities to facilitate the entire game. If you did not have entities, where would the fun be? No zombies? Okay. There we go. So they just kind of, I just had it so they pushed it up against the back wall, using all the bookshelves that were in this area. Could you put spruce or some other block? Oh, you know what we could do? Let me show you what we could do. We could use kind of granite that's cracked. Obviously not perfect line, right? There we go. That looks all right. Yeah, I mean, we could have some like archive, like some kind of. I mean, there's going to be some of these survivors that are like most of the survivors aren't going to be fighters. That's what where your job kind of comes in. I won't put a path for these since they came from so far away. But at the very least, it can look like you might have pushed something to the sides here. Kind of low key. I don't know if people will pick up on that. But... Okay, then we have kind of these tables. I don't know what that area is going to be overall, so I don't really want to do anything more than that. I don't know what this area is going to be, so I don't really want to do anything more with this, but one of these areas is going to become a bazaar. And one of these areas up here is going to become... I think this will just stay as the meeting room. Maybe, but there might not be any need for a meeting room. And over here, I don't know what that's going to be. I might even expand and make a basement area. There's going to definitely, I'm definitely going to keep the mayor's office because we are gonna have a mayor of this little town. Maybe he'll call himself the mayor, maybe he won't. I haven't really figured out, again, I haven't figured out the details of the lore. Oh, this needs to be repaired. I haven't really figured out the details of the lore, but there will be some sort of a man in charge. Or woman in charge. I mean, I'm not being sexist here, but no, the server will not be playable on cracked mode. That's dangerous to run a cracked server because somebody can join with my name and then have off permissions. I don't want to use a cracked server. That just seems like more complications than benefits. At least for me, because I don't have a cracked version of the game. Yeah, I don't really know what that area is going to be for. I might expand like some area in the front that they... No. Let's just keep it all inside. Make them look caged up. Claustrophobia. There should be elections, maybe. But in a post-apocalyptic... Yeah. In a post-apocalyptic scenario, you probably would not have too many elections. Granted, this is not immediate post-apocalyptic. This is post-apocalyptic, so this is like some good amount of time after the apocalypse goes down, evident by the destruction of the buildings. There already is a meeting room, but I don't know if I want it. Like there will be a mayor, and I don't think we need meetings because I'm pretty sure this will not be super democratic in that regard. A cracked server is a server where you don't have to pay for the full version of Minecraft to play on it. Because cracked Minecraft allows you to change your name to whatever you want and just play the game without having to own the game. So a cracked server allows you to play without paying for... play multiplayer without paying for Minecraft. I at least wanted to repair this glass with the makeshift glass. I don't know what this room is going to be, though. This room could be the bazaar. I mean, there's... Well, because it said employees only to get upstairs. I think I might make it a specific thing. You can make a room with the map showing the plan to stop the apocalypse. Well, you don't have a plan to stop it. It's kind of global. There's no way you can stop it. Some quest line where you help some NPC take over a spot as leader with violence and corruption or something. That would be a little bit too I mean, that would be too personal, but also affecting the way that things look or operate. That would be that's too adventure mappy. I think this area will become the living area, like where people sleep. And I think that area over there will become the bazaar. It just seems logical to me. So let's go ahead and start boarding up windows. Oh, that's got to be at least one pane of glass. So it's sitting on something. So this is where the people will sleep. This will be the living quarters because it's like the safest, honestly. Is there any loot system? I don't know what you mean by loot system. I haven't added any items to the game, but there's the loot system that I already showed earlier where you have the crates and the chests. You said it's going to be an MMO. Is there skills? Then maybe the bookshelves room is where you learn slash upgrade skills. I mean, there is that challenge of trying to balance MMO with realism because this is meant to be realistic. Um, I need to first design this area with the mind of survivors because this is not where you live. This is where NPCs live. I mean, obviously, we can have some kind of lore in the sense that like this is where you live. Sure, you can live here too, but I need to have the facilities in here where it makes sense that the NPCs could live here. In terms of skills, I haven't worked out any idea of skills at the moment. It's gonna be more loot based, kind of like Destiny 2, but hopefully way more fun than Destiny 2 because Destiny 2 is boring as hell. Yeah, so this needs to be some kind of a patchwork of I use oak and bookshelf, honestly. We'll kind of like yeah, kind of like that makes sense. And then I'll 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. There you go. You definitely don't want glass that low if you're the future isn't real either. Well, okay, it's realistic though. I mean, I don't want to have like it doesn't seem realistic to have like a zone for upgrading skills. It would have to translate to something that actually is a real thing. So maybe not a zone to upgrade skills, but for example, I would have an area where there's a gunsmith, and that's where you can upgrade your guns, is what I mean. And I think an area that literally is something called the gun upgrader would be something that breaks immersion because it's not realistic. But giving your gun to a gunsmith is. So, all right, see you, GalaxyBot. Is the loot going to be like Borderlands, where what you drop is what you get, or is it going to be upgradable? It's going to be a little bit of both. But yeah, there will be upgradable items. And yeah, I agree with E3 in the sense that what I mean by realism is things make sense. Like things are logical. Because if things are not logical, you have a break of immersion and you don't feel you feel less attached to the world as if like this is an actual thing that place that could be real. That I want to work to defend the people here. I want to be involved. It's you. That's why you want realism. Jack. Jack knows all about my servers. Yes, another server, Jack. This one, I hope this is like the first RPG server I've made in a while. Like I haven't made an RPG server in a while. Airplane. When it's done, no. I mean, it'll be a server open to everybody. Now, for the beta test, yes, you will have to meet certain requirements for the beta test. And the server probably won't be constantly turned on during the beta. So, but when it's finished or in version 1.0, then you can just get on. It's open to everybody. Would you first program all the necessary thing like loots or builds the map first? Both have their benefits. Well, I don't have to build much, so I'm focusing 100% on programming. Will my minigame server ever be back online? The minigame server, the problem with it is management, and I don't like that. Like, that's why I'm doing this server. The minigame server, the problem with it is you have to have a bunch of sub-servers, so that's costs extra money to run the sub-servers, and you have to go to all, whenever there's an update for the game, you have to go to all those sub-servers and update all of them. It's just a pain. So, I don't like having to manage MSN, a multi-server network, so I'd rather do RPG. And also, MSNs can cost more depending on how many minigames you have. There we go. So you can see I kind of like, I didn't clear everything, I kind of moved everything out of the way. Which kind of gives it a feel of like things are moved out of the way, right? Doesn't give it a feel of just empty. Yeah, I also like RPG style because it's a lot easier to. Ooh, I could have sworn I just saw something move over here. That scared the hell out of me. It was probably just like the glass, but like I was like running this way and I could have sworn I saw like a brown object move to the left. It was like it's like when you're sitting home alone and then all of a sudden you just like see out of the corner of your eye. Okay, and I also need to make sure that since these, I don't mind having trapdoors and stuff around the map and doors people can open and close. But if there's like a chair trapdoor and it's like in the main part of the map, it needs to be iron so people can't open and close it. Yeah, so this is where they're going to be sleeping. Because the upstairs, I feel like, will be a place that's for people that work for the mayor more directly. So there's going to be some kind of, in my mind, there's going to be some kind of a caste system where you have the mayor, you have the people that work for the mayor directly, and then you have like kind of the lower people, and they sleep in the bottom area. So there's going to be kind of a hierarchy of people of like importance because that's kind of the way that a post-apocalyptic world would work in my mind. This room, I think I'll turn into a some kind of a like specialist room with kind of the upgrade stuff involved, as well as probably some extra sleeping quarters for the people that are more important, or this area over here. Let's go ahead and add some wooden fences here instead with the debug stick. I think we can make these connect. As long as I just go here and set east to true, boom, now they connect. We can kind of do that. I think I'll just get rid of all the glass because I don't know why you would want broken glass laying around. And I'll just replace it with kind of a fence here. That I don't know why you would want broken glass. And let's use 2 different types of wood because everybody likes to change the types of wood because it's like, well, maybe they don't have as much access to all the same color of wood. You know, it's not perfect. It makes sense, you know. There you go. I don't really know what you mean by the loot system of things not spawning in the non-spawnable area. Will players be in the staff? You mean like the lore-based staff? They would have a higher importance than some of the other NPCs because you're scavengers. But I think your importance would also depend on how much you play. So you'll be allowed to have certain perks that are dependent on how much you've played the game as you progress. But that seems like kind of a side thing that like it's not the main thing on my mind, but yeah, like you're gonna work into the caste system on your own, in your own way, and it's you're not necessarily gonna be at the top, and you're not necessarily gonna be at the bottom, just because you are supposed to be going out and exploring. And I feel like that would be more valuable than some of the, just like the women and children at the bottom. So, but yeah, you will have kind of a place, and you'll be kind of working more directly under the mayor, which is why you'll be allowed to go up to these upper levels more commonly. And maybe I'll even block you from going to the upper levels if you haven't completed certain parts of the main storyline, which would be a little bit realistic there too. It's just like a little, there's a lot of room to kind of work around the lore, make things a little bit more interesting. And we're going to have an NPC that always stands here at the guard, just kind of regulating. Yeah, you're going to have to definitely balance endgame. Like, that's a constant problem in RPGs is endgame. Uh, you have uh, players that are casual, and then you have players that are casual consistent, and then you have players that are hyperactive. So players that are, I did already do some stuff in mind, keep some stuff in mind to balance people that are hyperactive. Because I would prefer people that are casual consistent, as in they've been playing for a long time, but they play casually. AT, that won't really be a problem because when there is an area where things don't spawn, the desire for the game to spawn things goes up in the areas that it can spawn. So it'll just make it so you kind of have to venture a little bit further in order to find new things. But this is a humongo world, so I don't intend there to be hundreds of players that play my game at one time. I'd love for that to happen. But I definitely only intend there to be maybe 20 people on the server, and that would be a good amount. Like I would be happy with 20-ish people on the server at once. Like that would be a pretty big accomplishment for me. Like 20 people on the server when I'm not streaming, so I'm not asking people to come on the server. So I don't think it'll be a problem given how big this starting world is, but if it does get big and it expands, then eventually there will be other cities to go to. What's up, Mooncraft? Will items be unbreakable? No, they actually do. That's one of the stats I worked on with the guns. They actually do have wear. What Fallout game would this be similar to? I'd say more like Fallout 76, but all of the gameplay mechanics have nothing to do with Fallout 76. It's just like the same kind of idea behind like the design, the world, the city, like the little like not necessarily a vault. This isn't a vault, but you would have a same kind of like a town similar to like the vault. And you kind of go and your role in it is similar to Fallout in the sense that you're like a scavenger. You go out and you get stuff for people, and you help people at the vault, quote unquote. But this isn't a vault. That's why I titled the stream like Fallout like server because yeah, it's like it's kind of like Fallout but not. All right, so up here, I don't see a problem with any of this area. Let's go ahead and put some iron trap doors. And for some of you that are joining the stream late, we did a lot of stuff earlier in the stream and made a lot of good decisions for things on the server, but obviously you missed those, so you'd have to watch it again. Go back and watch it again. I think over here I'll convert this into like somewhat of a bedroom, so like the mayor sleeps up here because he's scared of like going to the bottom floors because it's more dangerous. How do you stop your weapons from breaking? Yeah, so that we actually, I'll go into that just for a second since a lot of you haven't seen this. Sadly, the pack. Okay, so where's one that can break? There, look at all the stats that there are. I think this is a gun that can break. No, it's not. Let me edit this one to change the oil to 40. So there is a whole breaking system. So what happens is as you use a gun, it depletes the wear of it, but when you get below a certain wear amount, there's a chance every time you fire it that something will break. And the lower wear you have, the higher the chance one of your parts will break. Now, what part break is random based off of a weight system, similar to how loot tables work. So if you equip certain attachments, then you will have a higher weight for different things to break. If the spring breaks, then it costs a certain amount of stuff, currency, and materials to fix it, and you have to go back to the main area to fix it. If something else breaks, like a hammer or some other part of the gun breaks, then yeah, it'll be more or less expensive, and it'll require different materials to fix it, and different places that you have to go to fix it. So you want to balance what attachments you put on based off of what could break. Now, to make that feature less annoying, the time when your durability starts to break things, like when there's a chance for things to start breaking, that's towards the bottom end of the durability total scale. And also, durability is very high. For most starting weapons, they will have a really high durability but crappy stats. That way, new players don't have to worry about breaking too much. And then, additionally, when your gun does break, you can fix it. Now, where things get a little more interesting is there's ways to counteract that. So the way to counteract that is actually oil. So you can oil your gun parts, and what oil does is it actually reduces the chance. It basically protects your gun from breaking and lets you get deeper into the damage well. But the trade-off for using oiled is if you go past 0, then your gun breaks irreparably, and all you can do, it's literally just scrap. So if you use too much oil and you keep firing the thing and keep working it hard, everything will break at once. Like all your parts will break. So then you have to go repair all 3 parts instead of just 1. Yeah, so it's kind of has a balance system. So you'll see as I use this gun, it will eventually not let me. Ooh, this one's a bad example because it has some. I think this is a proper one. Yeah, so let me change this oiled to 40 and per shot to 3, and then you can see, yeah, so break current is 74, break limit is 40, so it won't break until I get below the break current. But that's when the oil kicks in. So you're gonna see scoreboard players get oil gun, no, oil. It's a stat. Whatever. There's a stat for oil, but it will eventually. Yeah, I can't shoot anymore now. It just did not let me shoot. But if I go ahead, I got somewhere in the 35 range. But if I go ahead and increase oiled to 100, oh, it's oiled. It's past tense. Okay. So if I bring up oiled into 100, I'll read the chat in a sec. But oh, break oil. That's what it is. So the break oil depletes as you shoot it as well. So like the oil gets worse and worse. But now let me shoot it into the 20s. Yeah. How many guns can you carry at once? That's a good question. I haven't really worked that out. Oil OP. Wait, where are we? This is a test world. This is not going to be a gun in the game. It might be a gun in the game, but it's probably not going to be a gun in the game. Am I reloading? Oh, it switched hands, so it's not reloading. All right, I'm reloading. It might not be a gun in the game, but the texture design is going to be similar. It's not gold. Also, yeah, I know it sounds really confusing, but none of that information is going to be portrayed to the players, so you literally don't have to think about any of it. Yeah, you like as I'm designing the game so that early game weapons have these inherent traits, but you have no idea what is going on. But late game but it doesn't happen too often. Late game weapons have these traits, but they are actually important. Does that make sense? So an early weapon does not have a lot of issues with the damage thing. It will eventually break at some point, and you will know when it breaks, obviously. Um, but it's not going to be a big deal, and you'll just be like, "Why it broke? What?" And then it's just a fact. You deal with it, right? But then when you get like a really later game weapon, it might have more. It'll have better stats, but it might have more complicated things you have to balance and figure out just to get the gun a little bit better. So the damage limit, like when it could start breaking, is going to be a little bit higher than the early game weapons, but they'll be a lot more powerful, right? So you'll have to deal more with like the oil will actually be something you use, but somebody that just started the game, they would never touch oil. In fact, you wouldn't be able to buy oil until later game. So kind of the point is to have a very diverse and complex stat system, but you don't have to worry about any of the stats early. No, this is not a tutorial on how to make a loot system, and I don't really know what a loot system means. That's too vague. And I didn't show a ton of commands either. I tried to keep things a little bit vague. All right, so we can put a bed here. Yeah, so he would have like a bed here. I know there's no bookshelves in this room to put up against the wall, but that's why I'm like stuffing it in, and it's like whatever. Yeah, that discussion got a little bit deep, heated right there about the whole system. It's very complicated, but you don't have to know any of it. Yeah, though all those things are stats that are randomized. Mm, in terms of weight, I don't really know. I mean, there could be a weight stat to each gun, so like if you have too much weight, then you can't carry things. But that seems a little bit annoying. I'd rather just have it bound to the default Minecraft inventory because that's all you can carry. Because I think like carrying capacity is a little bit annoying of a feature. Like it's a little bit annoying to deal with. It's like why it gets a little bit stupid. But yeah, it's a very cool kind of system that me and Benny worked out together. Actually, in person, we met up IRL and we talked about this stuff. Well, that's not what we did IRL, but we it was just one of the things we did. Um, I don't know what you mean by show off the item you're holding. I don't know what that means. Yeah, exactly, AT. What I'm saying is what I'm saying is that um people that are new to the game will not know anything about it, but people that play the game a long time will be able to suss out some of the details. And also, there will be the gunsmith. You can pay him, and he'll tell you some of the stats associated with your weapon in a slightly vague term, but you'll be able to relate those stats to things. Those stats will be related to the real stats in some way. Yeah, I don't know what you mean by showing an item. Show off the item in your hand. There we go. No, I'm not getting random admins. All right, so we'll have a bed in here. All of the NPCs are probably gonna be armor stands or villagers. So, and I guess in terms of random walk, I might do villagers, and then the villagers have an armor stand that TPs to them, but that would be pretty inefficient. So I'm a little hesitant to really decide what the NPCs are gonna be. On Hypixel, when you do slash show, I don't know what that does on Hypixel. Okay, so here's kind of the mayor's room, and he has like his bed here, and yeah, so all right, that's pretty well set up, and we will have like these little flowers here, because it's like nice up here, because that's the point. The mayor, he's gonna have some good stuff. You would have to send a picture in the You'd have to send a picture in the Discord for me to see what you're talking about. Would there be a random like potato gun like a potato cannon? That isn't a bad idea. To have some like funny guns. There are going to be weird guns. I hadn't really thought of what weird makeshift guns there would be. I was thinking of weird high tier guns, but yeah, weird makeshift guns probably. There might be some of those. A potato gun actually would be cool because that would change. That would be a very interesting mechanic because instead of using like ammo boxes, it could use potatoes, like food, which would give it kind of good and bad, right? I don't know. It'd be an interesting weapon to add. All right, the glass here is totally fine to just have plain glass because it's like not exposed to any zombies or anything. And here I put these because I don't know. I think the mayor is a little bit paranoid of the zombies. He probably wouldn't even go out on the deck too often. That's just my feel. Are there any Easter eggs? Well, no, I literally haven't made it yet. The server yet. I don't really know what's gonna be here. Oh, I already said kind of roughly what's gonna be there and roughly what's gonna be over here too. And then down here we're gonna have like a bazaar, and maybe over here we'll have some kind of a maybe this could be the med bay, or this could be the med bay. Do I intend to have Easter eggs? Of course. And yeah, it's gonna be vanilla. Okay, yeah. So definitely this is gonna be where the bazaar is. I like that idea. So we'll do. There's almost too many of these things. these chairs, so. Well, I said the server is gonna be Spigot, but just so that I can have like perms. So like, yeah, so I can have perms. I think what I can do, I'll just get rid of all these because they'll be in my way. And I'll just line the walls with them in a particular way that I already have thought out in my mind. Because you definitely don't want, like, these windows. That's going to be terrible. So I think what I can do is that. There you go. And then occasionally I'll have some mixed rotations. There we go. Just some mixed rotations of the chairs. I know about VIA versions, I just don't want to have to use it. Alright. Let's add more of these chairs covering the walls. There we go. I think just kind of haphazardly placed blocks with the glass is going to be fine here. There we go. All right, so here's the bazaar room. Will you ever play on this server? Why would I not? I wouldn't need VIA versions for this because it's only one server and it's always going to be up to date. All right, so that's there could be like auctions here too, and then just like kind of trade on the walls, like on the edges here, there could be different trading stalls. Mm. The soapbox. What the? Okay. There we go. Okay, there we go. Yeah, oh, make this a lectern? Sure. And someone was talking about Unicode being offset to the top left corner of the screen. I've done that before. It goes to the top right corner and it does a mini map. But it is very laggy because that is just the nature of these things. Where's the lectern? I'm blind. Is it because it's it's under redstone because it has redstone interactions? Yeah, let's add a lectern and modernize this. There we go. The reason I use the word bizarre is because I used to play a game on my phone that had a bizarre system. But yeah, it's a pretty common RPG slash anything based term for a place where you trade things. So here's the bazaar. And then we can have little stalls with NPCs. And I do like the idea of having a potato gun that you can get from a farmer as a side quest because there is a farm on this map. Yeah, it's definitely a weird way to spell the word bizarre. I mean, it's a weird word, but it is what it is. Yeah, so there'll be like different like trading stalls. Probably a little more space than that, and probably spaced out a little bit more than that. Yep. What's up, saucy boy? Oh, I broke it. Cool. Well, they have mini maps for Forge, but because it's a mod, but they don't have mini maps for vanilla, really. Mini maps just are not worth it for how much efficiency problems they would have if you wanted to make one. All right, so then we'll just have different colored fabrics for different things, but I haven't really worked out the items of this game, so I don't really know what those things are gonna be. Well, I mean, I know roughly, but I haven't really, sat down and worked it out, so yeah. We'll just put some placeholder fabrics on there. Why would there be PvP? Well, it's not necessarily why there would be PvP. It would more be a question of where would there be PvP, because there would not be PvP in here, that's for sure. I would in fact prevent people from doing it just on X because like I don't want them to accidentally do PvP here. But there would be PvP enabled in other parts of the map. All right, now to prevent players from getting into this part of the map, I don't think it's. Is there going to be limited spaces in the bazaar because of the amount of tables? Yeah, the starting town is going to be limited. I don't even think there will be user bazaars in the starting town, but there's going to be other little settlements. And those will have more accessibility, more things. So I think in this one there won't be any user trading, because I don't want people to trade stuff to brand new noobs, and I don't want to encourage that. Uh, but yeah, I'm not gonna have user trading yet, but it's gonna be a thing. Everyone should work together. Well, I think that a very important thing with RPGs is the ability to choose, and I think that people should be able to choose whether they want to work together. But if you don't, then there would be consequences, but also benefits, because if there's only consequences, then why would you have it? So yeah, that's kind of my take on it. Now I'm going to make it so there's like a pressure plate, and then it'll actually like, instead of opening the door, it'll just like teleport you through, just to prevent people from using glitches to get to this to go up there when they're not allowed to, aka when they're kind of a earlier in the campaign. You will just use currency to buy stuff. You won't be able to trade, like put your stuff up for sale, and I will prevent people from in bazaars when players make bazaars. I will prevent them from selling certain things. Certain things will be untradeable. So you will only be able to trade things that are tradable. Because again, I want to. One of the biggest things that I need to avoid if I allow player trading is ruining the experience for new players. I cannot have that. Which probably means that what I need to do is have a second settlement that is further from this one. That when you complete the campaign, you go to that settlement and hang out there and never come back to the starting one again, just to prevent new and old player interactions as much as possible, at least in these zones. Will I be able to establish a drug empire? Maybe, if I add drugs to the game. Will alts be worth it? Um, I mean, that really comes into a. I mean, I don't want to punish people for having alts. So they kind of would be worth it if you wanted to trade one of your alts and then send items to yourself. But things will not be too time gate limited in the sense that you want to have alts because you have time limitations. Like, oh, every day you get some reward. That, well, there might be that. I actually was considering doing some kind of a daily login reward system, or some way, something, but it's mainly going to be daily event reward systems. So you would have to log in with your character with multiple accounts every day, and it would benefit you, but at the same time, I wouldn't care much to prevent it, because that's, I mean, you're just putting more effort into the game, which I don't mind. How many people you want in one server? For my current plans for version 1.0, I would hope that there is 20, that I can have consistently 5 to 10 people that play consistently throughout the day. So we'd have kind of fluctuations, of course, because it's a server. But I actually wouldn't want there to be more than 20 people at once, because for the way that things are built, I don't think it can handle that too well. And if it's popular enough, I would have to look into expanding, having like multiple servers, and then having some kind of a plugin that handles databases so that players' inventories get copied between whichever one you're on. There's no idle. I'm going to try and avoid any idle systems giving you anything. Will there be world resets and seasons? There will be changes that happen seasonally, but there will not be seasons like seasons that you are thinking of. I feel like I need a block that's a door that doesn't move. But there will be things that change permanently. That's what there will be. There will be things that are altered forever, like permanently. I'll just leave it there for now. So it'll just be like a teleport system, and it'll teleport you right there. But it's an RPG server, so it's not really seasons based, it's more event based. Up here will be like the armory, so I'll deck it out with some like weapons crates and stuff. Is it possible to change a player's momentum? No. Not without like spawning entities, which is inaccurate, or teleporting them to a proxy entity. So like a armor stand that you're changing momentum and you spam TP the player to it. Alright, well, we have the bazaar done. And then we can just have kind of like a... I think some kind of a carpet for the bazaar to make it look a little bit more grandeur. Of course, the whole trading system in the bazaar isn't done, and I actually have like a whole system with commands that I want to do, but that'll be there. Oh, you're right. You're right. Yeah, I forget that redstone trick. And I kind of want to use blackstone, or maybe I'll just use a pressure plate. You're right. If I go like this, and I go like this, and then I put the door sideways. There we go. But I need to put it like that way. There we go. And then I'll just make it a pressure plate. There we go. What's up, Jaden? Yeah, I don't really live stream too often, so it's understandable that you've never seen a live stream. And I usually only live stream for 2 hours, but I've been live streaming for 3 now, so. All right. So what I can do with this command, I know it sounds blasphemous for me to use a command block, but I actually am going to. Oh, shoot, but how are we going to power that? Oh, I know. Piston. Right, no, because that'll be activated. What isn't? Hmm. Oh, I know what to do. I think you guys can see what I'm going for here. There we go. Redstone workarounds. Now I can safely put a command block here and a command block here. And then just get the coordinates. Okay, and then I'll just go -2816, 73, 79, -180, -40. Oh! I did not mean to trigger that. I wanted to see what the coordinates were. -2814, 73, 80. I was just about to say that. Yep. Put the redstone on the side of the wall. Sneaky beaky like. Alright. Get up, comma, and a dx equals 0. There you go. So now it won't spam TP me, so I guess. And there you go, and you can just keep walking up the stairs. I kind of want to get the exact chords here. What is this? 2816.0, 73. 2816.0, 79.5. 2816.0, 79.5, 73.25. Then fill that all in. You also need plugins to prevent hacking. Well, yeah, obviously. Pause on lost focus disabled. Pause on lost focus enabled. I don't know what the hell that does. Okay, well, anyways, so now I need these coordinates. So 2, 8, 8, 1, 6, 73, 80. So then that goes into here. And then where it TPs you to would be somewhere out here, which would be probably here and facing this way. So we'll just go 2813, 73, 80, negative 132. I almost made a mistake there, but I saw it visually. Yep, I need the negative. And there you go. And there you go. Cool. Copied location to clipboard. Okay, and then it does that. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know about that shortcut. I didn't really use too much F3 keys on my laptop, so because it made me do Windows F3. But yeah, cool. So now you can kind of exit and enter this upper area, which is only accessible to people once they get past a certain point in the story. Okay, I've got this big area to deal with. This big area is done. Cool. Then I have this area. And yeah, I'll probably figure that out later. All right, well, for those of you that were not here earlier, I'll go through quickly what I did earlier, since you can see, because I did a lot of building there. So let me go to difficulty easy. Normal. So this is what I did earlier if you weren't here, because I'm getting ready to end the stream. So just summarizing kind of what we did today, which is important to do, I guess. So let's go around. Trying to find something. Ah, okay. So this zombie spawned a briefcase. So when I go up to the briefcase and hold crouch, it opens the briefcase, and I made it 100%, but it's going to be a smaller chance that you get a key and a map. The map actually shows a banner where the chest is that the key goes to, and when you go over there and you take a little look around and try and find where the chest is, here is the chest, and I right click on it with the key, and it opens and closes and gives me loot. Loot right now is just a dirt block so that I can test. There's also different rarities and different places that it could be at, so yeah, it's random. I also need to make it clear the map. But yeah, we did that today, and I put in 10 of those maps. There's ideally going to be more than 50. In this small area, there will probably only be like 15, but in the whole area, there will probably be more than 15. Yeah, so that's what we did today. And then obviously we remodeled this house to look like they took the interior and used it to defend the position. Like we moved stuff around and fix things up. Yeah. The chest crate system took a while to get working because you had to. I figured out that in order to do it, you have to lock a map. You have to put a banner and then lock a map based on the banner. So once you figured that out, it was easy. Anyways, that's pretty much it for today, guys. I'm gonna go take a break and chill. And probably next time I'm on this world live streaming, I might have more done in the realm of the bazaar. Probably, I've been kind of avoiding making items, so I'll try and come up with some items for the game as well. Will there be hunger? Of course. Yeah, of course. It's an RPG. Anyways, let me check back to peaceful. Anyways, that was it for this one, guys. This will be archived in the playlist for live streams. You can check out if you go to my channel and click playlist, there's a live stream playlist with all my live streams. But other than that, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace.